Mhm.
Kobe's so
Smile.
cute. He like knows.
The photo.
Or murder.
Welcome to Deeply Disturbing Things.
The podcast.
I'm Macy,
And I'm Naomi.
And
And-
Sarah.
Hype girl Sarah.
and we're three anxious counselors who like to talk about deeply disturbing things.
Here's Obi.
And we have Obi.
It's attached to mine.
Join us.
Our dear Abby Normals.
I get to
I
go
branded
first.
them.
Abby, I know you did, and I like how it sits. It's nice. It's settling nicely. Enjoy it. I go first.
I know. I'm ready.
Okay, are you ready? Are you ready?
We're ready.
So I went with a lighter topic today that has to do with murders.
A lighter
About
topic?
last time. It's a lighter murder? I mean, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about crows.
Oh, a murder. Oh, it's witty.
Okay. Cute.
Semantic.
I like it.
All right, so I'm going to talk about crows because there is a lot about them that you may not know. What do you know about crows?
They're smart.
Yep, the general, they're smart.
And they're a good omen.
Mm. Right. I saw in the Viking show, there was like a crow that was supposed to be a spirit of some kind.
Heard they're bad omens.
They could be a bad omen in something.
I've heard
Could
good
be.
because it changed, but like it's how you interpret the change.
Which like change of death or change, good change. Got it. Right. So I'm going to talk about crows because it's kind of creepy how much research we have done on them and have learned about how smart they are.
They're so smart.
They could take over the world. And one of our movie votes for our review is, do we tell this group? Do they get to know what the choice
If you want to vote on what movie we're going to review, be our patron on
Be a
Patreon.
patron.
You get to control our content.
Yes.
The power, imagine the power.
Do that and then you'll know why it says
It's only
that.
$1.
It's only $1. Yeah, I know how much you spend on your coffee. I do it too. It's not that much. Well, that's a lot. Okay, so I was shocked. I bought 2 coffees and it was like $16. When did that happen?
Everything is
Everything.
going up.
When did
Everything's-
$16 happen for
Everything's
coffee?
really crazy expensive now.
I could buy a really good sandwich and a soda and chips for $16 or less.
Where did you get
Maybe
your
not
coffee?
anymore.
Probably not. I haven't gone to a sandwich shop.
Yeah,
It's
everything's
doubled.
everything is 30% more than it was.
Right. Okay. Crows. I already forgot how I got to whatever I was talking about. Okay, so we know about their intelligence. We've known that for a long time, just based on their behavior. So they come from a bird class that they're called or what are they called? They're called corvids, are a type of bird. So like ravens are in that class too. But they've been in this corvid family. They've inspired myths, legends, fables. But as science has gotten more into researching them, we're starting to actually unravel the bird brain structure
Bird brain.
and we're starting to see that they actually resemble humans in a lot of ways for how their brains function. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, so
Who's trying to get out?
They're tricky.
a lot of lead research has been started or was started by John Marsluff, an ornithologist at the University of Washington. So he's the guy on campus sporting a COVID-19 face mask with birds
Witty,
perched on the
witty.
letters like the power lines. Beneath the mask, Marsluff is packing 40 years of corvid research that he's done. So this is his bread and butter. He's looked at size and function, lifespan. Some crows live up to 30 years. Very social lifespans, their lifestyles. They have a big brain, long life, they're social, they're very linked together. Sounds a lot like people, right? Okay. Now let's get into perceptual consciousness. Yes, there's some science in here I thought you would like.
Crows are naughty too.
Oh, like mischievous.
Yeah, I've had a lot of
Yeah.
picnic crow incidents.
Can you regale us?
Elaborate.
My content isn't that long, so we have time for personal crow stories.
Well, I've been out of picnicking as I do,
As one does.
as one does, and
Out to
sometimes
picnic.
if there's a lot of crows in the trees, they'll swoop
Mm.
down and steal your picnic food.
Ooh,
Or they'll send one
Especially
out.
the
to,
meats and
like-
cheeses.
Yeah.
there's a huge murder of crows. So a murder of crows is like a flock of crows, but that live in the tree behind my house. It's not my tree, it's the neighbor's tree, but you just hear them, and then on occasion they'll fly and you hear them. And it's like a big bunch of them, and that's where they live every year.
Love it.
It's their
Does it
home
have to
base.
be two or like more than two, or is just two crows considered a murder, or does it have to be more?
I think it has to be 3 or more.
Yeah,
To make a group?
to make a murder,
One
to commit a murder.
to do it, two to help clean up.
Yeah.
Right,
But then you have to kill the third one because they're a witness.
right, and
yeah.
there's just too many, one of them's gonna squeal. Sarah,
Or
is it gonna
cough.
be you?
And then you have to kill the second one, so it's just you. And I am the
It
servant.
would be her.
Yeah, that's true.
That's exactly how all of that would go down. Okay, so perceptual
wine?
consciousness.
More wine.
Now we have to
please.
Oh, yeah, we're already getting low.
Well, these are not actually full-size glasses, these are little minis.
Little trinket.
My
Get wine.
friend found an injured crow outside her backyard and took it in and rehabilitated it and taught it how to play the piano.
They're super smart. That's so cool. I watched a lot of crow
This
videos
little
today of like trainings and stuff. This one's mine. Did you
Yes,
give?
this is yours.
Mine is the oddly shaped one.
Oh, yours is wide. Ooh, looks dangerously wide. Like a nice tall safety brim.
So I collect these vintage
They're
glasses
super cute.
that come in lots of shapes and sizes and 2 colors. This is not the color I like, but
Oh,
I broke all the aqua ones.
they're classic. All right. So just last fall, researchers determined that crows seem to exhibit a level of consciousness only attributed to humans and very few mammal relatives, such as primates. So this work, along with many recent neurological studies, is really having researchers think about birds in a new way for how they can think and what they can do. So this breakthrough study that happened was published in Science. And they revealed that crows show signs of perpetual consciousness and an ability to have subjective experiences unique to their individual minds. This means birds can keep new information, basically having memories, in the front of their brain for extended periods of time, and then use it in reasoning to navigate new situations they encounter. Which for birds, that really was not something that people, like bird brained. That's a common thing. People say it to mean
Harmful
stupid.
stereotype,
Bird brain.
which I'll be talking about in my topic.
Ooh. Connection. You do look like Joan Jett today. It's kind
Thank
of
you.
it's exhilarating. The right of me. Great. Okay,
Yeah, crows, I heard they can plan, right? They can plan
Right.
with each other.
and that's kind of what they're talking about, is that because they can keep new information and they have memories, they're able to develop and do things strategically, which is very interesting. And they have really good memories. So this discovery kind of piggybacks on other new knowledge about the forebrain in crows, which is exceptionally large, another trait they share with humans. So we have a big forebrain. This is known as the nidopallium, or the NCL in the brain. In the birds, for us, we call it the prefrontal cortex. Problem solving, reasoning. Theirs is enlarged as well. The forebrain deals with cognitive tasks, synthesis of information, rational decision making, problem solving, and executive function. So this helps to explain how problem solving and tool use in crows and humans happened over time. So let's talk about crows and tool making, because this is pretty fascinating, kind of creepy. They're making tools.
Sure they are.
It's
They're
terrifying.
plotting against us.
I mean, you know that Aesop's fable
Yeah.
about
wait,
the
which one?
crows,
No, I don't. Maybe I do. From
where
long ago.
they kept dropping in the stones of water to bring the water level up so they could drink. because they couldn't reach their beak into the glass.
That's so good.
Yeah,
Smart.
so I've known from tiny
Tiny.
childhood years that crows are smart.
Super smart. So the new Calidian crow, that's what it's called, has recently gained popularity not only for its tool use, but its ability to manufacture compound tools. So in 2018, a study was published that showed they watched a crow combine as many as 4 different elements to access food, something they'd only ever seen in humans. So they could make probes, hooks, sharp spears that they would use to skewer insects and hard to reach places.
So,
I don't know
What do
what
we probe in
connections
here?
are out there. I thought you said probe in ear, which is different. No connection. Okay. They also will strip down palm fronds
oh,
so that the main stem forms a J shape that they can grab food with.
Wow.
In research labs, they successfully bent wire to snatch baskets with food inside. And in some instances, they store these tools and use them again in the future if they need them. So they have that memory of this tool worked for that. I'm going to save this and use it in a similar instance in the future.
Mhm.
They're learning.
they have a tool.
You know what this reminds me of? Didn't you do the episode on pigs? Was it?
No,
Yes, you did.
did I?
And
I
talked
always
about how
wanted a
smart
pet
they
pig.
were and how they're going to take over the world. I don't remember. How,
I mean, I
like,
believe that,
a good
but
third of my content. I may have done it. I don't
Maybe.
remember.
I don't remember us talking about pigs, to be honest.
I think you did. You did. You did.
I don't think I
'Cause you
did.
did. I think you did. Look
Uh,
in your master list.
I know, I don't think I did.
I've had to look in the
Because
master
I'm
list
kind of a
twice
pig,
now.
was there in
I-
future, so I remember that.
I really think you did it. No.
Do you keep
Maybe
a
it's a side. Maybe it's a side
Website, Sarah, where we have a complete list of topics
What?
that have clickable links that take you right to the show.
No, I have not.
Well,
Explain it to me and then maybe other people.
go to our website, diddlydisturbingthings.com, and you can
Yeah.
click on our list of topics. They'll take you right to the show. so you can
I
listen.
have to go there regularly because I can't remember. Have I talked about this before? It's actually a very concise, very nice list. It's very nice. Okay, so they
The
understand
resources should be aware of.
I
as
know.
a member of the team, Sarah.
You guys have so many things going on, like
Right.
Patreon,
Diversified.
podcasts, YouTube, Instagram.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So they understand the concept of hooking and pulling and spearing and what tools they need to do that. So that's a lot of reasoning skills. And there was a whole nother article that I'm not going to go into because it's almost.
Oh.
That's not it,
that's
Did you
Go to the
just
website.
get excited about the wrong thing?
Well, yeah.
That's
It's an all episode.
called appeasing us and we don't appreciate it. So
Okay, I'm done.
Diddlydisturbingthings.com, the website.
we appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate the enthusiasm about that, aren't
I'm
they?
excited. Continue.
Oh, I was waiting for
So
you.
they used to say back in the day, like the big thing that separates humans from animals is humans use tools, but there's so many animals that use tools, so
Right.
gotta find a new thing.
Right. And I think part of this too, like in the actual research studies, is interesting. They would do things like show a light and then the crow would have to like recognize later on that it saw that light in relation to doing a task. So they're like piecing together steps and they have enough memory to go through these steps with very intricate processes. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I watched
Crows
the
are
videos.
cute.
I have seen this because I love this picture of you guys.
In the cockpit.
But
That
I just
was
have
really
not-
hard to
yeah.
get out there, just so that's no.
Look at that complete list of topics with clickable links.
Oh my goodness.
It's beauteous.
That is.
You might think this is
I like the
staged,
color.
but it's not. She really knows
Right?
have been there.
No, I have been.
Well,
Well,
but you
website, I haven't clicked on it, but it's very user friendly. It seems like a
Right,
setup.
to them.
I love it. Check it out.
So, okay, it is adorable.
Okay.
Their incidental uses of tools too is not quite the same as having to take a different material and make it into something. So it's not like they're just grabbing something to try to make something work. They recognize that rocks are good for, they understand that rocks aren't always good for pounding always.
They're finding the
Certain,
tool for the job.
right, certain instances require specific tools, not just this is always the thing to use.
I do use a butter knife in most instances.
That's
For most
Fair.
jobs.
For most jobs, the butter knife is my go-to. It really works well.
Yeah, spoon is a good backup because you use the back to smear if you run out of your butter knives. Perhaps.
I'm talking about like screwdriver,
Oh, to actually as a tool.
lever, it works as a lot of things.
Right.
Can pound with the backside.
Drug use, I hear. Spoons as well.
Yeah.
Butter knife?
That's where you,
Oh, the smoky. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know, I was a high schooler once.
I was
Okay.
thinking like razor blade. I'm like, I don't think.
What? No.
butter
No, no,
knife
no.
would work for that.
Okay. Let's talk facial recognition
Let's do it.
and grudges, something else people do very well. All
Not-
right.
Not me.
So some of his special work was looking at the crow's ability to recognize human faces. His studies have shown that they pander to people who help them, such as caretakers responsible for feeding, and they have proven they can remember the faces of those who threaten them, even if it only happened once. They will remember it for years
Wow.
and hold that grudge against you.
So
So,
poop on their car.
well,
That things to them?
they'll make different, they did a lot of research studies with like people walking through, the people feeding, how they respond over time. And then like the person that shoot them away, that person could then be coming out of the university building over here and they all start crying, like they know, and they'll announce it to everybody.
That guy.
For
that weird dude's
years.
coming out.
There's the dick.
Yeah.
Do they poop on people?
I mean, they
Do they like
can,
that?
I don't
Like
know if it's,
Target.
I didn't find anything about targeted pooping. That's like a different level. Maybe that's the next step in evolution is targeted shitting.
Can they be aggressive?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they could. If you really
Fight
piss them
people
off.
and claw people?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's, they tend to kind of stay wary and avoid the danger and then come in when they know it's safe. And it's all about inner communication. So like that crow doesn't even necessarily have to know you, but it's being told that you're a good, you're trusted. Or
What's
you're
the
not.
form of communication?
Caca, can I go out and try
Is
it?
it cacaws or is it like telepathic?
Probably food and calming energy, not being loud in their environment, like in the back tree back there, the second I let Boo out, they make a ton of noise. Boo, my dog.
Like threat.
Right, or if I walk towards the back fence, which I never normally do, they make a lot more noises than they normally, it's like just, hey, what are you doing outside of the norm? Let's not even get into those squirrels, they're aggressive. They don't like me at all. Boo killed one of their brethren once, so it was a baby. It was horrifying. It was horrifying.
These squirrels are so cute.
It was awful, and now I'm just waiting to be taken out by a squirrel. At some
They're
point, it's
gonna
gonna
all
come out of
carry you on their
nowhere
head.
and knock me off my
I just
porch.
wonder what it would be like if squirrels were really big.
There are really big
No,
squirrels.
really big.
What do you wonder about that?
Like what would our world be like?
How much would
Yeah.
our world change with the really big
Yeah,
squirrel?
if squirrels were really big. I think about this all the time.
Just squirrels or
Like all the
any
time?
animals?
Just squirrels.
Why? All the time?
Because I have so many squirrels around my house.
Oh, you'd be fucked.
And I was like, if they're on a tree,
Yeah.
Like they just peeked over the fence, like.
I'm always worried they're gonna leap off the tree onto my head.
Oh, when they start getting like when they start clicking and like you see their tail and you're like, dude, I'm backing up. I don't want to mess with you. Like they can cause
We were on our
damage.
hike, there was a guy that was.
Oh, the little one.
Or was he a chipmunk?
It was a chipmunk.
But he was like. like,
Oh no, I think we thought it was
Imagine
a
if that thing was 4
It's
feet
coming at
tall.
us. Yeah. it
How
has,
would
like,
that,
posturing.
how would that change?
I mean, a lot,
Scary.
because there's spiders this
Really.
big that rear up and like they're gonna charge at me, and that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That thing was the
Imagine if
size,
spiders were really big.
imagine if they were the size of a squirrel.
That's my worst fear.
Oh, wait.
is one of them.
Could you imagine your house full of squirrel spiders? Gross, okay. Okay,
But then also, what if cats were really little?
you know what? My little nugget's little, but she's getting bigger.
I know, but like a little,
I
a
want-
little lullaby.
Like she's like just
Might
this.
step on
Oh,
them.
yeah, just like
But we could keep them in our pockets.
Oh, that'd be cute.
it's like this little sugar glider, but a
We could
kitty.
keep them in a
comes-
necklace. Yeah, like a sugar glider, how they keep in those little
Yeah,
necklace
Little
tabs.
pouch,
Yes.
kitty pouch.
I remember.
Except for my cats do this thing into my flesh all the time and it hurts and they do the claw eating. I
Mhm.
can't handle that. I mean, little ones, maybe they're less painful.
I think we need to shake things up and just change the size of everything.
How big would we be? Would
Honey,
we
I
stay the
Shrunk the
same?
Kids gun.
I think we should have a variety of
There's a
sizes.
PC game called Grounded where it's kind of like that. If you're into that, it's pretty fun. I just heard. Sorry, go on. You're small and you're fighting big insects in the yard,
I think there should be a variety, really big people
and then really small
and
people.
really small people.
Oh, that what kind of like
That can wear
socioeconomic
acorns as hats.
statuses is this gonna like create class wars
I
between
mean, I think
really
we
small
should
and really tall?
I like how kind of COVID kind of rocked our status quo. I think that'd be fun, just to like,
We need to find mushrooms
Change
for it, like
things.
Alice in Wonderland.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was one of my favorite.
I love that
Old time
movie.
movies.
Yeah.
Or the borrowers. Like all those stories where people are like really little, but then I also like the ones where with the giants where people are really big.
What about that
I
movie
guess
that's
not.
probably really not appropriate anymore? Oh, they changed the name of it. I saw it again. The Indian Cupboard.
Indian in the cupboard.
Indian in the
Oh, yeah.
Cupboard. I saw something
Did
recently
they change
and
it?
the name looked different, because I remember just being like, wait, is that the? Oh, I
don't
think they
remember what that
changed
book was
it.
about. Does it not hold up?
Well, it's like a little
toy came to life.
toy Indian that comes to life and with
That's right.
every possible stereotype there. And the cowboys and then,
So
yeah.
And the pew pew.
speaking of not aging well, so I read that fairy tale book and I remember when I first started reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this totally reminds me of The Talisman, this book
Mm.
that I loved back in the 80s. That was Stephen King and Peter Straub.
Right.
And so after I read that, I went back and to read The Talisman. And I couldn't read it. It is so, there's like so much racist shit and sexist shit. Like, I was like, wow, like culture has really changed.
Mhm.
Because wasn't aware. I
It's-
didn't see any of that
Right.
back in the 80s. It didn't seem problematic. It was just
I've never seen that one either.
like that. It's a book.
Oh,
You
okay,
can
I've never
see,
read
you
it.
can see a book.
You can
Yeah,
see
I've
it.
never
You can see
seen
a
the
book.
pages of that.
But it was just like that is what mainstream culture was like.
Right.
So
I like
nobody
reading the-
thought it was problematic at the
Right.
time.
The old
Or you
books
might
where
have
it's
kind
like,
of thought, but not.
No, I didn't think, no, I loved that book. Loved it. And I had to stop reading it. It was intolerable. I couldn't read it anymore.
or how they treat the secretaries in some of the older books, and it's like, oh. Darling, don't you allow that to happen, but it's just like it's the hand it off to so.
That's why I fucking love Dolly Parton, because she
She's
rebelled in 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Okay, so
I love Dolly.
every time
I love Dolly.
I would just want to say, as I'm reading this, every time I see the word crows, I read cows first, and I have to do a mental reframe to
Careful,
crows
that was a
every time.
call for.
Hold on.
I would be okay if I spilled wine all over this clown sweater.
Shall we do it? Shall we tie dye it?
That I'm wearing because. I
This
have
wine
to
is really
finish
good, though. I
myself.
kind of don't want to waste it. Okay, I'm not driving today. I'm so excited. Okay, so people who threaten the
I
crows,
could really get on the street. It's so bad. They have not plowed my street.
no, it's really bad.
It's really
Or
bad.
when it was like everything was fine, we
No.
knew like,
It was like sailing on the high seas.
no, yeah,
Coming in front of my house. I'm like, I'm gonna go a little this way, and a little this way, a little this way.
Yeah,
and
we
this way.
made it. We made
I
it.
was kind of like, I think part of my car got ripped off though, 10 feet.
Oh, is that what we hit?
It was like scraping and like I smelled something funny. And I'm like, what is happening?
I mean, I've seen your car on fire. Okay, so people, you mentioned like what happens if you threaten crows, so you might actually face harassment from them, like where they actually like maybe do a flyby. And they can scold you, not only by the bird that you harmed, but they will have its members yell at you or harass you as well. So they're known to been known to pass these perceived grudges or contempt off to offspring and future generations will hate your guts. So that's exciting. Befriend the
But how do they
birds.
communicate that? That's what I'm
It's
curious
in the
about.
genetics for that part of it. They genetically pass on the hatred.
Interesting.
Or just the way that they're like, yeah, doing the cacaws and then their babies see that and they're like,
How do they sound?
caca, the cacas.
I don't know if that's how sales trade in.
I'm gonna look it up, let's see. Here we go, here's what Google says.
Oh,
Good job, everybody. I don't,
you know, you guys are doing it too.
you,
Do it, Maisie.
I already know,
Yeah.
Why are you having shame?
cause you did it better than me.
A good cacar.
Concur. Okay,
You could be third best Kakar in the room. That's still a good ranking. Third?
out of
That's
3,
bronze.
that's the last,
That's a bronze.
that's
medal.
the worst.
That's a bronze
actually.
paw.
That's the, you get a white ribbon.
Participation, that's a
Bronze.
I
participation.
have a
baby.
circle of white participation
I don't.
for the horse barn, the goat barn grand champion all the
Gold
way.
medal all the way.
Nice.
Are you not impressed by my goat barn grand champion
Don't know what that
status?
means. I'm
I was in 4-H. I showed goats.
impressive.
I was
I'm
impressed.
impressed.
Okay, good. Thanks. I can't call it.
Okay. We talked about it once.
Goats eating the goats, yeah.
So
So-
you ate.
I didn't
Somebody
eat
ate
it.
your goat.
Oh, someone ate my goat, but when my goat got shoved in the trunk of someone's car and drove away when I wasn't there, because my sister said that it was my goat that needed to be picked up, but it was actually her goat, Jolly, the stupid goat that ate hot dogs and brisk iced tea that was supposed to go. And so they put my Puzzle, my pet
No,
champion goat,
no.
into the trunk of the car.
And what happened to puzzle goat bacon?
I mean, yeah, does goat make bacon?
I don't know. I didn't
I don't
even
know.
know people ate goats until we talked about
People-
it.
I thought they
People
just
eat
built.
Well, boar goats are meat
Jeez.
goats. Boar goats
Yeah.
are a BOAR. Those are the ones I was grand champion, with, but they are meat
I
goats.
didn't know that there were meat.
They're like,
goats.
they're adorable, they're cute, they're like white with like
Goats are so
fawn
cute.
colored spots.
I mean, I'm from the city. I'm just not familiar with this whole circle of life.
You
Here,
can
this
come
is-
I
meet
was
my
so
goats
sheltered.
this summer.
These are boar goats, they're meat goats. Yeah.
Oh, cute.
I had
They
a,
have long ears. They
Yeah.
have like long dog ears.
so I had I had a little
Yes.
baby like this that I got grand champion with, and he goats, and he would, when I'd itch his back, and he would like go into this freeze mode of like loving it, and when I'd stop, he'd stop, and then he'd point on his body where he wanted me to scratch him more.
Oh,
It was freaking adorable. It was, there was Pebbles and Bam Bam. Those were my 2 little. So cute. Okay, sorry. Crows. I don't even know how.
Wait, really quick, you guys
Yeah.
have to come see my goats this summer, and as soon as they put them
They
in my
haven't-
backyard.
I went to see your goats. There was no goats.
I know, every time I'm like, come see
Did
my
you eat
goats.
them?
No, they take them away. It's from the
Oh.
city and they put them around the city to like eat grass and
Mhm.
kind of like little
I
lawn.
would-
It's an
I want to
activist.
go.
Sarah
What's
was
a
an
goat
activist
activist?
because they were put there to keep the grass down around the golf course, but they were in danger of getting hit by golf balls. And Sarah reported the city and they moved the goats out of harm's way.
That's-
And they
did
put them
you
in my
see- wait,
backyard.
Did you see a goat get hit by a golf
There was
ball?
golf balls in their little pen. So I'm sure they were either getting hit by them.
So
or trying to
then
eat
they
them.
were like, fine, but it's your yard, and you were like, I'm a nice person.
I mean, it's a public area.
Yeah, they're not actually Sarah's goats,
Okay.
They're in my
They're-
backyard.
but they're
Yeah.
behind her house.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
then every time I'm like, Naomi, come see the goats. And she's like, let's do it this weekend. And then they move the goats every
Then I
time.
go there and there's
So
the
she's
goats.
like, there's. you're
They
making
don't
this up.
exist.
They
I
don't
want to do
exist, mythical goats.
goat yoga,
real.
but they probably sent you Nubians, which are big.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
goats.
Mhm, yeah,
Those are
they like,
Nubians.
but
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
actually.
mean, they all do that.
No interest.
there's
in
like a king
goat
that
yoga.
like takes over.
Sorry, I have to scoot over.
Their little hooves do get a lot of shit in them, so I don't know how much you want them on you.
I have no interest in goat.
I
yoga.
know-
I never understood.
I know
the
how to
practice.
trim their hooves. I can
I
do
don't
that.
wanna go-
I also know how to castrate them
You know, they,
or milk them.
they piss all around in the yoga.
What, yeah,
And I like
Oh,
don't have any desire.
My
okay.
cousin's doing that soon. I'll
Goat
let you
yoga?
know how, yeah. her
Just say,
experience.
watch out for the pee.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
I mean, they pee
And
and
I
they're
think
not
their little
body
cloven hooves might scrape your skin if they jump on you.
trained. Okay,
Okay,
so
crows, not goats. Go.
I don't even know. Okay, so
I
the
wouldn't do
researcher,
crow yoga either.
No, they
just
peck the shit out of me.
to be fair.
So
Do this.
the researchers have been putting this reality to the test
Yoga.
every 15 years with a specific group of birds. So each year, researchers approach the crows with a mask they wore when they were captured. And for 14 consecutive years, many of these same crows react by scolding and harassing the masks. They don't do that to any of the other people. So every 15, every 15 years. Every year they go out and do it, and they've done it for 14 years. So they'll do it here soon again. They respond still to the mask when I wear it around. We've captured 7 birds wearing this mask. It's not uncommon to have 30 birds harassing us, none of which were the first 7 we captured. Hive mind. So there's also just this general will to thrive. So crows demonstrate unique adaptability in the natural and urban world. This sets them apart from many struggling animals and species that have gone extinct with human expansion. For example, crows are found on all corners of the earth, excluding Antarctica. There are also supreme scavengers who adopt an incredibly diverse diet. They literally will eat anything from vomit to steaks.
Yummy.
They will hunt things. They eat fruits, vegetables, all sorts of things. So they really have diversified what they can eat. This researcher said that when you put all this together, this creature demands a certain amount of humility in humans. The features of our life that we think are so unique and so high and mighty above all other forms of life really aren't. The more we see other animals do the things we thought we only could do, the better we are able to see ourselves. Which I think is a nice little poke to the fact that people like frequently dehumanize animals. That sounds stupid to say. But
They're lesser than.
right. Or, like it's okay to be cruel because they don't have
They
a
don't have
consciousness.
feelings
They don't have
or-
feelings, right? Go to the Nirvana song with Fish. I don't know. I'm torn about it. I put the bubbles in the bucket to try to keep them alive until my dad whacks them with a wrench. I don't know. It seems to matter. A few more seconds alive.
I think sad animal stories are the saddest.
I'll cry over a sad dog food commercial on my period way faster than if someone gets murdered on a CNN
Like,
broadcast.
yeah.
I'd be like, ooh, that's scary versus why?
No.
I mean, they used to have a reality show that followed like a humane society type person around on these sad stories. I couldn't watch it. It was just too sad.
Oh, I watched one
Like
like the
abused animals.
Pitbulls one where they go and save them and they're like starved and
Oh.
like flea ridden.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't go into a humane society because I will leave with an animal. I cannot. It's hard enough going into like Petco or any of those stores where
They're in the
they
cages.
stick them at the front now. Like, I don't want to see your sad kittens. Do you know how many cats I have in my house?
I hear a sad cat right now.
Oh, he's like,
He's yours. He's yours.
Yeah, I think.
Something to say about this, OB?
I know, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing my part with my 3 very spoiled cats. Obviously, Opie is well
Macy
fed.
and I are out there.
Yes, I had
Macy's
to,
saving
I had to
cats.
cat wrangle that. I thought he was just, stray level. He was feral. He's very feral, but he's now at stray level and we're getting, he's making progress.
Don't look at my thing.
Oh.
You guys are so close to me. I feel.
I know.
I'm
sorry.
almost edged off. I can't.
I was trying to give space, but then I'm like.
Here, how about this? I'm gonna put my butt towards you more and then go this way. No, I can't see this way. You're good.
What about you? You're the one that.
You're worried
Am I
about
right?
this? I know the rules. I know that I'm getting yelled at so many times now at this.
That's
point.
supposed to be a surprise.
It is a surprise. I'm not looking. I'm
Can I
not.
just ask one more crow question though?
Why are you glaring at me? I can't see.
One more crow question I have.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
go for it.
Did you learn that, do they collect shiny objects? I've heard they
They're like
like
shiny objects. Sure.
to like collect fancy shiny
Who
things.
doesn't? Don't people do that
Like
too?
raccoons.
Like people collect shiny jewelries. Hello, Ob, what are you doing? Ow.
He's
Ow.
just trying to come up there, but he's so fat. He's just like ripping her leg to shreds.
Okay, I'm not like,
Okay.
I promise.
So our topics are linked by stigma and discrimination and harmful stereotypes.
Toby's all for it.
Nice connection.
Are you ready?
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna talk about redheads.
Ooh.
Sometimes called gingers. Here are some quotes about redheads. Redheaded women are either violent or false, and usually are both. That's a French proverb. While the rest of the species is descended from apes, redheads are descended from cats. That was Mark
What?
Twain.
Mark Twain.
I know, Mark Twain, get out of here. Gentlemen may prefer blondes, but it takes a real man to handle a redhead. Unknown. You'd find it easier to be bad than good if you have red hair. That's from Anne of Green Gables.
I loved Anne of Green Gables.
So there are these stereotypes that redheads have these fiery tempers and these unquenchable libidos. So why did I come to this topic, you may ask?
I may ask,
Why?
how have you come to this topic?
Like, why? It seems kind of like, why?
Why?
So I was talking to my friend who is a redhead.
Is it booty?
No. But my friend,
I only know so many men.
as topics sometimes go, we started talking about like our birth stories, and she was saying, like when she was gonna get an epidural, she knew she was gonna get it, and that the doctors, were like, okay, we'll adjust the dose because of your red hair. And I was like, whoa, hold up, what?
WTF, what?
Oh,
Adjust the dose because of your red hair? And she's like,
To more or less.
right,
less. She's like,
because they can take the pain.
yeah, redheads have a high pain tolerance. I'm like, what? This is a thing? What?
Is it like real?
Yeah, this is real. So I'm like, oh my God, podcast topic.
Power to that.
I'm gonna look into this because this is so interesting. I had no idea. And she's like, yeah, because her kids are both redheads too. He's like, yeah, when they like have to do a medical thing or whatever, like everything, the medication's always adjusted. It's so fascinating.
Weird.
So I looked it up and it's totally research based from the National Institute of Health. Studies do
Weird.
suggest that the pain tolerance of people with red hair is higher.
Hmm.
And also, so there's that on the one end where you'd have less pain medications. People with red hair also respond more effectively to opioid pain medications, so you would require lower doses. However, they need 20% more anesthesia to be sedated. And they also need more local topical anesthetics such as Novocaine, which is why many redheads have a fear of the dentist because they're not being properly anesthetized. Because they need 20% more than everybody else, so they're feeling the pain. So if a dentist doesn't adjust the dose of Novocaine or whatever local anesthetic they're using for a procedure, they're gonna feel the pain. Isn't that fucking fascinating?
Yeah.
No, yeah, and I'm like, I bet you there's so many people that don't, providers that don't,
Yeah,
right?
and people are experiencing terrible things.
I'm an undercover redhead. Like
Are you?
yeah. So in high school, I tried dyeing my hair blonde, and it would never dye like a pretty blonde color. It'll always be like orange or like a bright yellow. And they said it's because I have too much red in my hair, but it's underneath the dark, so you can't see it. But I have like tons of freckles,
Well,
and in the sun, it's like really red.
yeah, in the summer, I have a little arbor natural in it too.
And I needed more anesthesia going down one time.
See?
I thought it was just because my anxiety.
I
Well,
need
now,
it's gonna
now
be
you
that.
should say I have red hair
Yeah.
and my medication needs to be adjusted for that.
I mean, I might say
Maybe.
that too, I don't though, I'm very highly susceptible
just-
to any amount of.
Yeah, but they're gonna give you less pain meds,
Oh, you get less, oh,
You get more of some things and less of other things.
brunette. Brunette me, please. Ow, the
So
nail.
I looked into red hair. Both parents need to pass along a recessive genetic trait for their child to have red hair. They inherit mutation, so it's a mutated gene. Mutations in the melanocortin 1 receptor. And this is responsible for producing the skin pigment melatonin, which is why redheads can't produce melatonin because they have this mutation. And so the same gene is responsible not only for hair and skin color, but also for the brain function that determines the pain response.
Does
super
that affect
intense.
sleep? Melatonin?
I think that's melanin. That's something different.
Or
No.
melanin?
Or I'm talking about
You're
melanin.
Melanin.
You're talking about
Melatonin,
melatonin.
okay,
Yes,
right, melanin.
melanin. So I also learned redheads don't go gray.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
The coppery color just fades as the years wear on and eventually turns white. And they're also more sensitive to temperature changes between hot and cold. So they're kind of like superheroes a little bit, like X-Men.
Right. I mean,
Like, what?
I have to say, I mean, stigma aside, the redheads I've known are fiery. Like, personality wise, they've all been, actually, it's interesting because they're introverts when they.
There's more downstairs.
We don't share. You drink till it's gone.
Oh, I spilled some, but it stayed on the table.
It's okay, it's not a white couch.
Again.
So, I started diving into redheads and I became really aware that redheads experience a lot of discrimination and prejudice. Research has found that people with ginger hair are easy target for bullies.
Mhm.
The results of one study showed 60% of males and 47% of females with red hair said they had suffered some kind of discrimination in the past due to their hair color. One individual said he'd been rejected when the lights came on in a nightclub after dancing with a girl who had thought he was blonde. He was like, no, thank you.
No, don't make us get on the stigma of blondes, dude.
Abandoned on the dance
Girl.
floor. That
The
sucks.
ultimate rejection.
The lights come on like that. So it's like in the moment when you're like at the skate rink and you're skating, the lights are off and the music, and all of a sudden they do the intermission and the lights go on. That just like awkward moment. Hey,
You're like, oh,
Like,
I gotta.
do you like
I
it?
gotta go. Others reported being discriminated against at work, being yelled at, having bottles thrown at them, all kinds of stuff. In one study, which I want to point out was a heteronormative study, looked at how well individuals scored when wearing different colored wigs. So the study found that people are less likely to make a move on a redheaded woman or accept the advances of a redheaded man. So it was the same people wearing different colored wigs, so it
Mhm.
could rule out, facial
I
features.
saw a
and whatnot.
show about that where the girl would put on different colored hair and go into a bar or something and see how many people would put on. Yeah. I think it was blonde ended up getting.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hits.
I wanna
Blondes
do
have
this
more fun,
experiment,
as they
'cause I have a
say.
feeling I just have a no thanks face. Regardless of my hair color.
Well, science will tell.
I think we should
Give me
do
the
this
wig, I'll do
experiment.
it.
So what about the stereotype of the lusty ginger with the overactive libido? There have been studies that have found ginger women are more sexually active and have more partners.
Mm.
And the popularity of ginger men has risen in the last few years.
I
And
have to say, I see a lot of the beard look goes well.
I was wondering if it was because of Prince Harry.
Mhm.
Oh, sure, I didn't think of that.
I
but-
just researched something about him that
Research.
I don't know why I was looking at Princess Di and like the affairs that happened that she had and that her what was it, Prince Charles.
He's like a dad.
The dad they're saying is that she had an affair probably with this guy, and it shows pictures of this other dude with the red hair and looks just like Harry.
What?
But the ears though, Prince Charles.
Yeah,
His
I don't
Harry's ears used to stick out. I think he had the surgery.
it's speculation, and the guy she had an affair with, and I can't remember the guy's name, looks very similar to Harry.
I want to see a picture.
Yeah, you have to look it up.
So this is not just a case of not being able to hook up at a bar.
Right.
In the UK, there have been many, many suicides of bullied redheaded children. The human rights group Equalities and Human Rights UK say the discrimination has been present for thousands of years across the world, but is particularly acute in the UK. Did you have the microphone backwards this whole time?
I didn't know. It's not my microphone. I just looked at the buttons. I'm like, those don't look like front buttons.
Those are back buttons.
Is this a multi-directional mic?
If you have it set on multi-directional, which is the last setting.
Nope. Cool. We'll see how that
It's
works
all
out.
right.
So I'm sure it'll be great.
Naturally occurring red hair is the rarest hair color in the world, occurring naturally in only around 1% of the entire world.
So pretty. I love especially
Mhm.
like little girls with red hair. It's my favorite. They're cute. Or they're terrifying. One or the other. I've seen children.
Let's not perpetuate harmful stereotypes.
I know, it's just children in general terrify me. And that's so like I like it, but sometimes they're terrifying, as are all children, but not all children are cute. They're actually cuter. It's a compliment.
This
Yeah.
is complicated. So the highest numbers of redheaded people are found in the UK and Ireland.
Hmm.
Scotland has the highest number of redheads in the entire world, and Ireland has the second highest.
I have British and Scottish in the background, but not Ireland.
So the origin of this bright red coppery hair is believed to come from an ancient people called the Picts, who ruled Scotland back when it was called Caledonia, and they were a very fierce warrior tribe. So can you imagine this ancient red-haired warrior tribe that ruled the land, and they were able to actually resist Roman invasion, so very fierce. And a Roman soldier described the Picts as roving at large and causing great devastation.
Hmm.
So throughout history of that region, there has been anti-Irishness. You know, that's a whole
Right.
another topic. So some theorize that historical unconscious anti-Irishness might play a role in the present day discrimination. So this can really, now Obi needs to go out.
Oh, we are being high maintenance.
He's being very
Where's
high
the
maintenance.
other wine at? I'll go grab them.
It's on the counter.
I was gonna say I can, but you sure?
I'll be back.
If
I
you want to
wish-
try out the new toilet, it's really nice.
Oh, I'm
I don't have
jealous.
to go yet, but I'm sure we'll soon.
Well, just sit on it later, just.
Can
for
you not
funsies.
just pee when you sit down?
I mean, it's good.
I feel like it's a thing. You trained.
You-
It's in the mines.
If you don't have to pee, you just automatically pee every time
I
you sit in
mean,
a
even
toilet.
if it's just a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, unless I already peed like recently.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Oh,
Like, it's
no, no,
every
no.
time.
No. I'm
You have to have
just
something stored up.
right,
Okay.
right. But it's not like, ooh, I have to pee. It's just like I haven't peed in a while. I could probably pee.
Well, my rule, because I come from a big city, is you always try before you leave anywhere.
I learned that the hard way when where was it? Amsterdam. When I was in Amsterdam, because they have no public toilets. It's like you have to pay money to use a public toilet, and I had no money with me, and we're like 3 miles from the hotel.
That's what you always
It was
try.
terrifying.
He just like wanted to go get.
You always try and you drink nothing when you're out in the day.
Right. Just dehydrate the
Yes.
shit out of yourself and then drink when you
That's
get
what you
back
have
to
to
the
do.
hotel. It's good advice.
So I
Good
wanted-
travel tips.
I wanted to share about some of the suicides that have occurred in the UK over
Aw.
kids. These are kids
Aw.
bullied because of their red hair. So in 2013, 15-year-old Helena Farrell was bullied over her red hair and later found dead in a dense woodland. And her father was very outspoken about wanting to make bullying redheads for their hair color a hate crime.
Yeah, I mean, for real.
And that same year, Simon Walters, age 14, reportedly took his life after being bullied about his ginger hair. His father said he had been physically attacked and suffered cruel jibes because of his red hair, and had even dyed it brown in an attempt to stop the abuse.
Aw.
In 2018, a 12-year-old boy from Queensland, Australia, tried to kill himself twice in 1 month over cruel taunts about his red hair. And he went on
Oh,
TV,
so sad.
and him and his family became really outspoken and trying to raise awareness. And he said, This is a 12-year-old. He
Oh.
said, it started with my red hair, then there were names, then it turned into fights, and then it would just get worse and worse and worse.
It's so sad.
So the family started an anti-bullying campaign called Fight the Good Fight Against Bullying, and Ed Sheeran, who's ginger-haired singer, and other celebrities have supported the family's campaign. In 2019, a 12-year-old girl in the UK began considering suicide after being bullied for her hair color, and she dyed her hair brown after being targeted to try to stop the bullying.
Mhm.
And it just goes on and on. So just recently, 20-year-old Martin Bowers of the UK died by suicide after being bullied over his ginger hair. So that Human Rights UK group is advocating for protecting children against what they're calling gingerism.
Mm.
And they want it to be considered a hate crime to bully people for a trait they were born with.
Mhm.
Right.
And they consider this the last socially acceptable target for bullies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So what do you all think about that?
I agree.
Well, I have a coughing fit. You can
Yeah, no,
Talk it up, yeah.
I definitely agree. I think I know several handfuls of people over my lifetime who it's just like they know people are gonna say things about it, and so they kind of, from the people I know, had to like really lean in, especially in workplaces, like lean into the stereotypes a bit to feel accepted, which I mean, you see it kind of happen, and it's like they really shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, there was.
Sorry, this is my
Look at him.
podcast cat.
look at him.
A girl in high school. She was actually the captain of our dance team who had red hair, but she was super confident and people would make fun of her, but she would just like joke about it
Brush it
herself
off.
and
Mhm.
laugh it off too. Because she was confident, she was able just to like, lean into it, like you were saying.
Let it roll off.
But people that aren't as confident or are,
I could see that being
Um,
really hard.
vulnerable, you can see how that could really.
I had the best cake ever made for me on my birthday by someone with red hair.
Was
and
it carrot cake?
Well, I told her, I said, here's all my
Am I
favorite.
perpetuating
Yeah,
harmful
that was
stereotypes?
kind of.
No, oh, I see what you did there, but it kind of was. So I told her all my favorite
I love
cakes.
carrot cake.
I said I
I do
like
too.
German chocolate frosting, carrot cake, and cheesecake. And she made me a layered cheesecake carrot cake with German chocolate frosting, and it was amazing. Amazing. Those are my favorites, not perpetuating.
This is
stereotypes.
a tangent and not related at all. But
We
I
get-
was actually bullied by red-haired people.
Oh, really? People in general, or like a person and two?
yeah.
Like one or two, or a people of?
A couple.
Because I feel like it
couple.
makes a
It was
difference.
it was a group of two. It was a murder of.
It takes three. No, it takes three to make a murder. We already went over that. Two is just a bunch of assholes.
My son asked me if I was going to share the story because he was present during it, and I said no, I wasn't, but I just did.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
I'm not going to say who the people were.
Well, you don't have to, but you can give me more details than that.
No, I can't.
What were you bullied about? What was the topic?
If I reveal more,
I like how Macy.
I'll tell you all later after.
The
right.
Patreons.
I'll
Get to
tell you
talk.
in the patrons. So have you heard of National Kick a Ginger Day?
What?
No.
No, it sounds horrible. It sounds like another podcast topic of when setting homeless people on fire or throwing things at them. Like,
Well,
it's
listen
just
to this.
Mean.
This originated after
do
South
any of those
Park's
things.
2005 episode titled Ginger Kids,
Oh, I know that
Oh,
episode. Yeah.
man.
which I thought was really funny. Full
I'm
disclosure.
a South Park fan, but they are
Yeah.
they're known for I mean, they say the things that everyone's already saying. That's kind of the point. Doesn't mean that
They're
it's right.
hilarious, but so awful. The same.
You don't have to.
Oh, wait.
You don't have to indulge him wanting to go in and out.
Right.
set.
She's making it
I'm,
worse.
like,
He's now
creating the monster.
I know. Now he's gonna expect
Do you know-
door service.
let me tell you this. Nugget, as a kitten, got a can of cat food in the morning. That turned into all the cats needing a bite of cat food in the morning, to me being awakened by her biting my cheek at 7 a.m. She wanted, and so I had to break that.
Yeah.
You don't get it in the morning anymore because I don't want my face bitten.
You either train them or they train you. And
I'm the alpha.
terrifying.
He's
I'm
definitely
the alpha.
got me.
You are the
I
alpha.
am the alpha.
What were you saying?
So National Kick a Ginger Day. Which just
Horrifying.
sounds horrifying
What day is
and
it?
is horrifying. I'm not gonna say because
Okay.
I don't want to
Yeah,
Fair.
promote it.
yeah.
Fair.
So the title's called Ginger Kids, and in this episode, Cartman gives a school presentation on gingivitis. This is the disease he said redheads have, and he accuses Kyle, is my favorite because he's Jewish.
I like
Oh,
Kyle.
Kyle.
Because Kyle has red hair, he accuses Kyle of being a day walker because he doesn't have the pale skin and can go out during the day. And he says gingivitis is caused by the fact that ginger people have no souls. So this started a whole internet thing of gingers having no souls. After the episode aired, a teenager made a Facebook group which started National Kick a Ginger Day, and it started a lot of really terrible memes. And this National Kick a Ginger Day actually led to very real
I'm sure
attacks
it did.
on ginger kids by those who either misunderstood that South Park is irony.
Right, like that's the whole,
and-
it's highlighting the errors in the culture.
Yeah,
the whole
or
point.
just people who are just stupid assholes or whatever.
Mhm.
But look at this horrible meme that came out of it.
Mm.
Oh, that's somebody's
so-
kid.
I mean, let's be fair, his bangs have a poorly done cut.
Has
that don't-
mine at that age.
That don't give this photo justice.
Very
I'm
bold.
just gonna be the realist here, is I'm not criticizing him for being ginger. It's the haircut that the parents chose to give a very round-faced child. I'm a round-faced child. When I had my short little bowl cut in high school, I looked like a
In
chipmunk.
high school.
Freshman year, that photo, not a highlight, not on the mantle.
You were still getting parent cuts in high school?
I was raised by my dad.
I started high school with a fucking badass mohawk because I gotta set the stage,
So
get the message
this
out
is
there.
horrible because they chose a bad haircut. Okay, but like
I'm talking about like when I was 6.
these bangs are like up here on this poor boy.
Yeah,
Like
6, I had that stuff.
like
Not high school. What happened to you?
I had a slow start.
Late bloomer.
Late
I was in
bloomer.
and 4-H. I had very little. I moved to Spokane is what happened. It took me a while to
Late
like
bloomer, I guess.
even though my high school in Snohomish, if I would have stayed there, it's called Cow Pie High. So I don't think
I
I
was
was stepping
running
stone
away
was that
and-
big.
To San Francisco and staying in opium dens.
I
So.
was a very good child compared to you.
What else?
You're welcome, Dad.
I think good is a judgment call. I feel like
I'm
was
making a judgment.
having fun.
I made a judgment about that.
So ginger kids, like I said, were actually attacked and kicked on this day, and some redheaded kids skipped school to avoid the violence. So if you're wondering,
Hmm.
do gingers have souls? If you've been wrestling with that.
I mean, no, I wasn't wrestling with it, but I wrestle with it for humankind as a whole.
So a while back, after all this, it's probably like 10 years or so now, YouTuber Copper Cab famously ranted, yes, gingers do have souls,
That's nice.
and everybody should watch that.
I think if souls are a thing, everyone should have them, including crows and cats.
Well, this ties into my last topic with the mirrors, that
Right.
if you don't have a soul, you will not be reflected in a mirror. So I guess if gingers have a reflection, then we know they have souls.
I just don't like tests that takes us back to witchcraft. Will you sink? I'll probably sink if you tie a rock to me. But if I float, I'm a witch.
I know.
Fair.
Worst test
If
ever.
unless it's seawater. If it's seawater, I'm very buoyant.
If it's the Dead Sea in particular.
The Dead Sea in particular, I'm a witch. Otherwise, if it's a lake, I would be dead.
Or normal ocean, you're not gonna.
And I
just float
probably
either.
deserved it at that point because I wasted everybody's time not being a witch.
Actually, because if you could swim, then you were more educated. And if you
Oh,
and most
but if there's
like,
rocks
swimming-
tied to you,
Oh,
they like weighted them down and then like,
hurt.
I mean, they just throw them in. They're smart.
Yeah.
They're stupid smart enough.
That's messed up.
Let's bring it back to cats.
I like Why the F not? I've got
Let's talk
6
about,
cats in my house right now. And one of them is Sarah's fault.
let's talk
Yeah.
about
The rest are
ginger cats,
Ginger cat.
ginger cats,
Calico? No.
orange cats.
Isn't that, yeah, there's a genetic
Not,
thing there
not
too.
calico cats. So let's just talk about
Just
ginger
ginger
tabby
cats.
cats.
Hmm,
Garfield.
tabbies.
People discriminate against ginger cats too. There's been a stereotype that orange tabbies aren't as intelligent as other colored cats. I have had an orange tabby and then just a regular orange cat.
I haven't
It
owned any.
Only lived about a year and got hit by a car in front of my house.
Not
Wow.
due to his intelligence.
No,
It's a dangerous
due to people
road.
drive way too fast.
Your
which is-
road is scary out there.
Which is why the current 3 are our first set of indoor only cats, and as a consequence, we will have them forever.
I mean, till they pass on to the nether.
The Rainbow Bridge, till they cross
Okay.
the Rainbow Bridge.
Don't make us sing that song.
So this whole thing came to a head recently with, did you follow the George the Cat Reddit saga? So this is a possibly real cat, maybe not, but it introduced a lot of people to the term himbo, which is like
The term. for-
bimbo and
Oh.
him together because he was
Oh,
portrayed as
I
like this
see.
really dumb orange cat.
Another, and I think it's an orange tabby cat. Another game that you can go and play is called Stray. It's I think a Japanese original game, but you go and you play a stray cat, like going through all these different, like you get dropped out of this, like you're living with your other friend stray cats and you fall into the city from the drain pipe and you have to go and like survive as this stray cat. It's pretty cool. It's on
You get to
Xbox,
choose what
PC,
color cat you are.
PlayStation. No, it's an orange cat.
Oh, you're an orange cat.
Yeah.
Well, the most famous cats are orange, like Garfield. Think about Garfield.
He likes lasagna.
Morris, the 9 Lives cat, orange.
The Meowmix cat is orange.
What about
Yeah, there you go.
Heathcliff? Was he orange?
Was he? Yeah.
He's orange too,
Calvin Hobbes? Sorry. No, he was a tiger.
He was a tiger.
but he was orange.
But he was tigers are orange. You're
Hobbs
correct.
was orange. Zara Hedge, chief medical officer at the San Diego Human Society, said, while there could be some genetic components associated with coat color that also impact personality, there's
Right.
little scientific evidence demonstrating this to be the case
Really?
in cats.
Milo and Otis. Do you ever see Milo and Otis?
Was Otis orange?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Oh,
Famous cats. Morris the cat from Frisky's Cat Food. Crookshanks from Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
Lasagna living cartoon cat Garfield.
Crookshanks.
However, not all tabby cats are orange again.
Well, no, because you have gray
Right.
too. Or Chi Chi, my other cat lives over with my ex-husband, is an apricot point.
Aw.
So if you're needing some community, if you're a redhead out there, there are redhead conventions that occur all over the world. And you can be in community with others and you can participate in events such as carrot tossing competitions
Aw.
and freckle count competitions. So
I gotta say,
be
one
with
of-
your people. It's comforting. I
one
like
of
being with my people.
favorite thing, like I have a few freckles here. I get a few freckles on my arms, but like girls that have like the little bundle freckles to me is like the cutest thing in the world. Again, unless they're a terrifying child of any hair color, then you're just leave. Don't look at me. Don't say creepy shit.
I think a lot of people hate their freckles.
What?
Yeah.
I think they're so adorable.
Yeah, but it's kind of like if it's your thing, you hate it. People are like that.
Right?
Like straight hair people want curly hair people want straight hair. Tall people want to be short people want to be
Well,
tall.
And that's why, redhead, the percentage of people is so low. And so it's
Right.
rare to see those people. And so when you're seeing somebody different that you're not used to
You're gonna
seeing,
notice, yeah.
people want to come at it with hate instead of like,
Right.
oh, look how beautiful you are.
Instead of
unique, and-
like putting on a pedestal and being like, wow,
Yeah.
you are an X-Men. You don't experience pain?
Yeah.
Right.
Superpower.
No,
come
and
on.
that gets played out. I have known 4 billers in my lifetime for mental health billing, having to deal with those phone calls of angry clients, all redheads, every single one of them. And they are like hardcore about it. And I have not seen one of them crack, not once, where I'm like, I would crack. They're emotionally strong.
I've gone along with redheads in my life. The best, like,
I
Some of the
like
best
them.
people.
I appreciate
I
their
have
stats
redheads
a
in my
lot.
family. My great grandmother was a redhead. So there's a streak that goes through my family, which is probably why I've actually have naturally a little bit of an auburn highlights.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'll show, if I showed you
My hair
pictures of me
has a
when I was little, it was very auburn.
Little tint, but not much.
Mhm.
It's very auburn.
Well, if you didn't listen to our last podcast, we talked about
I talked about the famous axe murder, Lizzie Borden, or was she? Because she was acquitted. Did you know that? She's not actually an axe murderer, but is she? You decide.
and I talked about mirrors, all things mirrors. And if you'd like
That
to sub-
sat with me, man. That sat with me. I went home
it's
and
a good topic.
that mirror, it's like in a spare room now, but it's in a spare room that I've been using as storage, and I've been thinking about that. I don't like that it's surrounded by like all like my ex's stuff in the corner. I
It's
don't like that
reflecting
it's
it.
reflecting it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I
You
need
may
to,
have to get rid of
what
it.
do I do with it?
Put a
'Cause I can't
blanket
break
over
it.
for now
Put it
Cover
what?
it up.
A blanket.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
covered up.
until you can
This
sell it
yeah.
or give it to Goodwill.
Feels like it really matters. Like it really needs to do that.
No, it does.
It does.
And if you want to support our podcast financially, be our patron on Patreon. It's only $1 and you get exclusive
Do you
content
know how much
and
wine
control
costs?
our what we talk about.
I complained about coffee, but like every time I go to the store, I'm shocked. So it'll be like $4.29 and I'll have 1 can of wine. I'm like, I need at least 2 for that price. 3 would be
You
ideal.
know, everything's expensive. The world's gone crazy.
I'm making bread at home now and rice at home now. I'm cooking so much at home because that's horrifying to me.
I
But I'll
cook at
drink
home all
wine.
the time.
You have babies. Babies.
I have man babies.
You have adult men babies.
Until next time,
Yeah.
Till
hug a
next time,
ginger. They need it.
with consent. And I already forgot what my topic was. Who knows? Oh, don't
Yeah.
piss off crows. They
Right.
will remember you, especially if they live behind your house. That's forever.
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 Sandlot. Nice.
I know.
Can I tink on that? That was great.
Tink. Is that what we're saying?
Tink. I'd say tink if things don't tink, like if you have a can and I have a tink glass.
All right, that's it. It's a wrap.
Bye.